Hello my Wolfpack and welcome back to another episode of our Pokemon Competitive Guide video. So today we are covering Iron Bundle. Now Iron Bundle is a really fantastic Pokemon. I believe it's been banned in Smogon. In fact, I know it's been banned in Smogon. OU, it's in Ubers, and basically because this thing is just destructive. It just has a real destructive tendency. And the reason for that being it has Freeze Dry and Hydro Pump, which isn't resisted by any mon. I don't think, off the top of my head. I don't think any Pokemon can resist it, or any typing that cannot resist both of those. So that is, kind of crazy. In terms of weaknesses, it's weak to Electric, Grass, Fighting, Rock, and that's it. So it has got a few weaknesses. It's got one resistance, but the majority is neutral, or two resistance, sorry, and it's got quite a lot of neutral damage it takes. But let's look at its useful moves. So it has got Agility, which allows it to speed up, which is really useful. Aurora Veil. Aurora Veil is a really fantastic thing, although you do need to have a Pokemon that can set up the Snow. Snow is instead of Hail in this generation. Blizzard, powerful Ice-type attack, boosted by Stab. Chilling Water has the capability of reducing the, I think it's a 100% chance to reduce the attack by one stage of the opponent, which can work really fantastically. Encore, which can put a Pokemon into the same move they were using. So for example, let's say they were trying to use something along the lines of Stealth Rocks, and they've used Stealth Rocks, you've Encored them, and they just continue using Stealth Rocks. And actually the really cool thing is that you are super fast, which means that you are also able to Encore a Pokemon that might be slower than you from the previous turn, so you can have that more reliable situation. Flip Turn allows you to get out of there. Now typically in terms of physical moves, you wouldn't necessarily go for that with Iron Bundle. Base 80 attack isn't fantastic compared to the really high 124 special attack, but Flip Turn has that secondary effect allowing you to be able to get out of there. Same with U-Turn as well, so they can be really useful. Freeze Dry, Ice type attack boosted by Stab, but also hits Water types for super effective damage, which also, really good. Hydro Pump, strong Stab, Water type attack, does have the chance to miss though, so do be a little bit cautious with it. Taunt to stop Pokemon from setting up, which can be really useful. Terra Blast, because you don't get much coverage with Iron Bundle, I definitely would recommend potentially running Terra Blast with it and having it as a Terra Captain, or if you're in draft, or having it as your Terramon designate in some cases. You've got U-Turn, as I've already mentioned, and Air Cutter. It just allows you to have coverage for things like Grass types, hitting that super effective damage, as well as on Fighting types as well. In terms of doubles, you've got things like Encore, which can put a Pokemon into doing the same move over and over, which can allow you to play around that. Protect, which is typical. Helping Hand, allowing you to raise the damage power of your ally's move. And Icy Wind to slow down the opponent, as well as being boosted by Stab, can be really handy. Now, Terra typings that I would recommend. You've got the Ground Terra type. Ground Terra type allows you to hit Electric types for super effective damage, and also gets rid of all of your weaknesses except for, and Rock types as well, but it gets rid of your weakness to everything except for the Grass type. Grass typing isn't the most common typing, so it's not going to be the worst thing in the world, but at the same time it is a risk, so do be very cautious of that. But a Ground type, Terra type would work quite well for you. You've got Fighting type Terra type as well, so this allows you to be able to hit the Rock types super effective damage. It allows you to take neutral damage from all the rest of your weaknesses, and typically means that you're not going to see as many problems when it comes to your weaknesses. You've got things like Flying types, which you can hit with an Ice type attack, but you do need to be cautious obviously of Psychic and Fairy types. I've also gone for the Fairy type. It allows you to hit super effectively on your Fighting type there as well, and also gives you the resistance to all the other typing, or not the resistance, the neutral to all the other typings. The only ones you have to look out for are Poison types and Steel types. Now Steel types are very common, but Water type damage along with your really high special attack should be able to deal with that relatively okay. So yeah, those are the three Terra types that I would recommend when it comes to Iron Bundle. Now, looking at Iron Bundle's sets, I've come up with 5 different sets, 3 singles, 1 doubles, 1 that is a Veil set. So on here, I've got Iron Bundle with the Booster Energy. The Booster Energy allows it to increase up its speed to 1.5 times. Now, if you are going to try and increase up your special attack, you need to make sure that your special attack stat is higher than your speed stat. So if I was to put the Positive Nature on here just to show you, that's not the right one. Positive, there we go. That means that you then have more special attack, which means that your Quark Drive will activate for the special attack stat as opposed to the speed stat. Now, when speed stat is 1.5, when it's the special attack stat, it's 1.3 times. So, there's obviously the way that you can play around on the different abilities there. It's your choice how you decide to do that based on what your team is running. Now, I've put the booster energy on here to activate the Quark Drive, meaning that you will get that 1.3 times or that 1.5 times boost to your stat because of the Quark Drive being activated, which means that obviously you have just more power or more speed. Move-wise, Hydro Pump, powerful water-type attack boosted by Stab, hits really, really hard on lots of Pokemon, especially with your high special attack stat. Ice Beam, powerful Ice-type attack, again boosted by Stab. I've put Terra Blast on here, and you can run Terra Blast for any Terra typing, realistically, as long as you're Terrestrialized. If you're not Terrestrialized, then it will just be a normal type. And then I've put Freeze Dry on here as well, because it hits super effectively on water types as well, which would be the only resistance when it comes to the Hydro Pump Ice Beam combo. EVs, as I've said, you can run the Modest Nature or the Timid Nature, so plus special attack or plus speed. It depends on how you're wanting to run it and what your team is already looking like, but I definitely recommend going for max special attack and max speed here with one of those natures. That's definitely the option you need to run. Moving on to the second Iron Bundle, I have gone for a Choice Specs Iron Bundle. Now this one could be one that you are running alongside the Quark Drive with, let's say, a Pincurchin, for example, activating the Electric Surge, bringing the Electric Terrain, meaning that you can bring this in, Quark Drive will activate and increase up the speed, or if you're deciding to want extra special attack, you could definitely go for that, again, depending on those natures, but I won't bother explaining that again. Choice Specs gives you 1.5 times already in your special attack, and you've got things like Blizzard, powerful Ice-type attack boosted by Stab, Hydro Pump, again, boosted by Stab, Air Cutter on here as well, allows you to hit, as I said, things like the grass types and the fighting types, and it's not the most powerful move, but it does have I think it has an increased chance to crit, off the top of my head. Yeah, have a high critical hit ratio there as well, so that can be used. And then I've also put Hyper Beam on here. You can definitely put Freeze Dry instead, but I just didn't want to put Freeze Dry on all of the sets, so I've put Hyper Beam on there, you know, in case this is a kind of a, I'm going out this turn, I need to Hyper Beam to just get maximum amount of damage. So that is an option that you definitely can run. EVs, again, max special attack, max speed, depending on what nature you want, what boost you want, is entirely up to you. If you're not using the boost at all, then I definitely would recommend going for the max speed, just to mean you're outspeeding as many Pokemon as possible, because there are a few Pokemon that are in that kind of top range now that you wouldn't outspeed if you weren't the plus speed nature. Moving on to the third Iron Bundle, we have got a Heavy Duty Boots set. Now, Heavy Duty Boots, I know, has been a very contentious thing in the, particularly the Draft League. A lot of people want to see Heavy Duty Boots banned, because Heavy Duty Boots means that you can switch in and not take any damage in terms of the hazards that are on the field. Now, obviously, Defoggers, in fact, I haven't even seen Defog, so I don't know if Defog is even in the game, but Rapid Spin definitely is, so Rapid Spin users having Heavy Duty Boots on, a fantastic option. But I also thought Iron Bundle, because it would take 25% damage to the Stealth Rocks, Heavy Duty Boots is really, really handy. With this one, I have got Agility, allowing you to increase up your speed to ×2, which would be like 750 something, which obviously is really, really high. No, it would be 740 something, I think, but really high regardless, meaning you are going to outspeed the vast majority of Pokemon. You've then got Freeze Dry, Hydro Pump, and Terra Blast as free moves just to hit with coverage. I put Terra Flying on this one to allow you to have more power than you would have with the Air Cutter. That allows you to hit, again, those fighting types and grass types with super effective damage. Now, EV wise, because you're going for the agility here, I definitely recommend going for the max special attack with the Modest Nature, so more special attack, less attack in this scenario, because you're going to be so fast you don't need that extra speed anyways. You might even want to reduce down the amount of speed that you're having in this mon and potentially put in a little bit into HP or defense, meaning you can bulk out a little bit more in terms of hits. So that's definitely an option that you can run, but it's entirely up to you based on what calcs you want to run with your Pokemon. Moving on to the double set, we have got leftovers on here, which allows us just to get some recovery, but there are plenty of other items that you can use. Any kind of resistant berries, so you've got the Chopple Berry, I think is for fighting. Electric, I think, I can't remember, is it the Hon? No, it's not Honju. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but any of those berries, the Rindo Berry for the grass, any berry is going to be really, really useful. You could again run things like heavy duty boots, but in doubles, less likely to see the hazards. You could run ability shield, for example. You could run covert cloak, things like that. There's lots and lots of different item options that you can run. Any healing berries definitely are an option. On here we have Helping Hand to increase up the power of your ally's move. You've got Icy Wind to slow down the Pokemon, which can be really, really handy, especially with you being so fast. If you're able to use the Icy Wind to be able to slow down that opponent, meaning that your ally is then faster and your ally can then do some kind of attack. Let's say it's a medium fast Pokemon that has Rock Slide but is super powerful in terms of attack. That Rock Slide can hit really, really hard, potentially take one of them out, meaning you're not going to take damage. So Icy Wind can be really, really handy to filter with those kind of speed tiers. Taunt to stop things from setting up, which realistically, you've got things like Follow Me, Rage Powder, all that kind of stuff. Spore, Taunting will stop that from happening, which is really, really handy. And then Protect, allowing for you to obviously not take damage for a turn, which would be really handy in a lot of scenarios. EV wise, this one is not really designed to be this all-out attacking set. You've got max speed, max HP. I've gone for the timid nature, so the more speed as possible, just to mean that you're going to outspeed, allowing for that Icy Wind or that Taunt to be able to take place. Obviously, you can run any of the previous Iron Bundles, kind of as a massive attack mon, which will allow you to kind of sweep through things, but you can run this as a double support mon as well. And the final set we've got is an Aurora Veil set, which we've got the Light Clay here to increase up the amount of turns of Aurora Veil from 5 to 8, and we've got the ability to set up the snow here as well. We've got Snowscape, which allows us to increase up the snow, and I also believe it gives the ice types 1.5 times defense, which means that obviously you're going to take less damage, which is really, really fantastic. So Snowscape, really, really cool move. And allows this to be much more of a defensive Pokemon overall, and allows your team to be a little bit more supported. Aurora Veil obviously doubles the defenses, or yeah, halves the attack of the opponent, whichever way you want to look at it, but you're going to take half damage essentially. Blizzard, powerful ice type attack. I believe it's still 100% in Snowscape, so obviously that's really, really fantastic. 100% accurate, that is. And then Encore to lock your opponent into a move. If you want to switch out, obviously Encoring and then switching is a really, really handy thing to do. EV wise, again, same as before, maximum speed and maximum HP. You could run this with a little bit of special attack, but realistically you're going to want to sponge up some hits. You could even run a little bit less speed and run a little bit more in your special defense to make you a little bit tankier, but again, calcs will be needed for that based on what you're personally looking for. But yeah, that's going to be all for Iron Bundle, the Iron Delibird, and that is yeah, where I'm going to finish. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, please do like, subscribe and comment. Let me know what your sets are down in the comment section below, what your most powerful Iron Bundle set would be, because I'm not necessarily convinced that I gave it justice here. I feel like there is another set that could be really, really powerful that I've overlooked. So if you come up with anything, do let me know. But yeah, that's going to be all for today. I hope you've had a good one, and I'll see you soon.